I don't believe Trump actually cares about Bitcoin. I definitely think he's a better president for Bitcoin than the alternative would have been. And, you know, he actually freed Ross.
Most people don't care. They're like, oh, fucking Bitcoin, like, why should it matter? Most people live in, like, a lot of people we interact with are living in first world countries, and the banking system kind of works. I mean, obviously, it's inefficient as fuck, but when you do experience, my bank account disappeared. Sorry, sir, you don't exist. Then you start actually caring.
The strategic Bitcoin reserve, I think, is maybe a little bit overrated. They already owned the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay, you put a label on it, but it's a good statement still.
I think it's important that we continue the dialogue. Trump doing all of his things, his NFT stuff, and all the shit that he's been doing, is that, like, those people are getting access now that buy that shit to go talk to him and be like, hey, this is business, this is jobs, this is innovation, this is important, this is sound money, this is freedom, right? And he's like, oh, fuck, that makes perfect sense. All right, I'm in.
That's also my original skepticism. I think he's quite transactional in how he operates. And I think as a European, we're not as used to that. We sort of expect our politicians to really stand for the policies they want to enforce. And I do think there's maybe a cultural difference between Europe and the United States. So that's partly why I was maybe more skeptical than some Americans, because I really looked at, does he actually care? Because that's the thing I would say ultimately matters.
We're here at Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas with the man himself, Aaron Van Wirdum, chief editor of Bitcoin Magazine, author of the Genesis book, and good friend of mine. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, thanks.
So
nice to see you again.
Crazy what's going on. Yeah, it's fucking, we're talking poker, talking all sorts of stuff. Not many people know you're a soccer star, man. We played soccer back in the day. I was so impressed.
That was fun.
That was fucking fun. He came out there with the silver hair sprinkled in, and he dominated all of the fucking young Mexican dudes. It was great. So like we were in Florida, so in Florida it's like heavy cumin, heavy Spanish. So it's like me and Aaron, Paul came out, and like just a bunch of like Hispanic dudes playing, and they're like, oh, these gringos. And we came out there and like, no, we got the fucking Netherlands in this motherfucker. He was balling, dude. It was balling. It was great. But
well, it's our national sport, right? I gotta represent.
They underestimated you. But it was a fun time. It was a fun time. Wow, what an event, bro. This is insane.
It's huge, yeah.
Yesterday for the industry day, like I showed up and it was like packed, and I'm like, I'm not used to, I kind of hate when it's a fucking bull market because it's like, it's so insane. So like the bear market conferences are like more like, chill. But like, I mean, the energy is just insane here right now. The industry day was so packed. I was like, oh my God, is this a general admissions day? And like today, it's like you couldn't even walk through the halls of the Venetian. It was like,
oh yeah, I got stuck for a while.
I could. It took like 30 minutes to even get here. Like just like trying to like worm around people that are just here.
Yeah, especially after like JD Vance, like when everyone came out, that was it was hard to make to get anywhere.
What an event. I mean, you know, David's done a great job. I think he's just like, I know he gave us a lot of tickets to give away for our Bitcoin meetup group and stuff. So we've got a lot of people here from like our even South Florida community. Like I'm in a group chat with like 30 or 40 of us that like come from our Bitcoin meetup that are here, that are so excited. Wow.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, to your point, I like bear markets for the reason that the people that show up are like the people that are really there for it, that really want to be there.
Yeah.
And then in the bear market, the bull markets, it's a little bit like tourist season, which is also fun. Like it's fun, like, you know,
it's a different kind of fun.
It's a different kind of fun. Yeah, like they're both fun in their own way. I would say
it's funny because like when you have this, you're like, oh, like you're nostalgic for like just a peaceful conference, and then when you're in a peaceful conference, you're like, fuck, do something. Have you ever seen that video? I think it was God. There's like, it's a conference, but there's like, it's just like 100 empty chairs. And who is
Andreas Antonopoulos?
That's a classic one where he's up there like just fucking preaching magic.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing that video, and I did. I mean, not to present myself as some sort of visionary, because I wasn't, but I did immediately think like, this guy is underappreciated. Like
he really is.
He needs a bigger. Well, not anymore, or at least
Well,
Now he's sort of disappeared
he's
again.
disappeared, man. I
He's
don't
kind
like
of retired, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of faded away from the limelight, but
But
yeah, I
yeah,
watched
no,
him
but
very
he
early
really
on.
blew up
Yeah.
after that empty room, and you know,
Yeah.
rightfully so, because I think he's still the best speaker that Bitcoin has ever had.
Yeah.
I think he's still the most, you know, because he really understood the technical side of it as well, but
Mhm.
then he knew how to present that in a way that was compelling.
I think that's the
and
key. His
he was
presentation, how he can break down complex ideas into like for normies, just to like understand this idea. He does that, I think, better than anybody that I've seen. Like just really break down complex topics and present it in a way that anybody can understand. So I
Yeah,
think that's what
someone
it's
like
about.
Giacomo is also great.
Uh-huh.
Also great at that specifically, and
Mhm.
very entertaining speaker. Um, yeah, I don't know if I insult Giacomo if I say Andreas was probably the king, but I don't know. Should I get into
It's
comparisons?
a good conversation to be in. It's a good conversation to be in. What do you think about? I know, like before we were talking when you came to Florida and when we did our Cypherpunk series on your book, you were kind of like very hesitant about the Trump administration and what was going to happen there.
Yeah,
How do you feel now seeing JD Vance come here and speak? Like, has your opinion on that changed at all? Has it evolved? Are you still like where are you at?
that's a great question. Because yeah, I was very skeptical. I did not. I did not trust Trump really.
Uh-huh.
I thought he's just saying whatever he needs to say to get the votes.
Uh-huh.
And then when he gets elected, there's really no guarantee that he'll follow up on that.
Yeah.
But to a large extent, he has. So, yeah, my skepticism in that specific regard
Hmm.
has definitely gone away. Like, I definitely think he's a better president for Bitcoin than the alternative would have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
And you know, he actually freed Ross. Um, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, I think, is maybe a little bit overrated, although it's a good statement still. But you know, the Bitcoin, they already own the Bitcoin,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, okay, you put a label on it, but
It
I don't.
changes, it changes the conversation. It says,
Yeah.
hey, it adds this air of like legitimacy that kind of says, hey, like it's okay. Sometimes like a leader needs to like say, hey, like this is okay. We're not gonna like arrest you or whatever. Like we're the OG Cypherpunk. Like we don't give a fuck. We're doing whatever we're gonna do. Nothing stops this fucking train. Nothing stops Bitcoin. Bitcoin is gonna win at the end of the day. But that adoption can be 20 years. It could be 10 years. It could be 5 years. It could be, you know, and there are leadership figures that can help adoption grow quicker. So I think it is a kind of a leadership thing to say, hey, this is important. We understand it's important. Like we're going to take a leadership role in this, right? And bringing back innovation to America, attracting talent and capital here, people to build different tools, right? I think that's important, right? So I think you know, it's
Yes.
better to have. We're gonna win regardless, and this is what I think I told you before. Is like we're gonna like nothing stops this, right? It's just like freedom technology, but you know, why not have more Bitcoiners even wherever they are, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's good.
you know,
I will say, I will add one piece of nuance. Still, like part of the skepticism that hasn't completely disappeared, or that is still an open question for me, is how the regulatory environment will develop when it comes to things like censorship resistance and privacy. But even the privacy aspect seems to be going in the right direction. With
Yeah.
like the sort of wind has changed, it seems, around like the Samurai case, for example.
yeah.
So it
Kind
will
of
be
following that closely. Have they?
so-
What's going on there? Like I've been kind of hearing about that, listening to a couple other Bitcoiners I know talk about it. Where do we stand right now? Are they?
I mean, they are still being prosecuted, but yeah, there's been some back and forth with the Southern District of New York, and it turned out that they actually explicitly knew that FinCEN did not think they were a money transmitter.
Yeah.
So the last I heard,
Well, that's one of the most corrupt places in the United States is Washington D.C. in the Southern District of New York.
Well, it does really seem that
They
they're,
are
you know, making their
unbelievably
own
corrupt.
rules, basically.
They just make. I mean, that's what they did. That's what they like when they went after Trump because of some lady that said that she raped him 50 years ago. They literally changed the law to be able to reopen the statute of limitations to try the case. So like they will change the laws and rules to go after what they want to do. I mean, that's how they operate, sadly.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know.
Well, yeah, so in this case, they knew that FinCEN thought they are not money transmitters. And FinCEN, you know, these are the people that matter when it comes to that. And they still decided to go with the prosecution.
Yeah, these people are unbelievable.
That really needs to be dropped.
It's politically motivated. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, there's no doubt. It's
Yeah.
dirty politics. It's sad to see, and we can't have that kind of shit happening in America. It does not benefit this country and this nation or the world. I mean, it's I think it's important that we continue the dialogue, because I think the more dialogue, and that's like what I think was probably the best part of Trump doing all of his things, his NFT stuff, and all the shit that he's been doing, is that like those people are getting access now that buy that shit to go talk to him and be like, hey, what they're doing right now is fucking retarded. Like, this is business, this is jobs, this is innovation, this is important, this is sound money, this is freedom, right? And he's like, oh, fuck, that makes a perfect sense. All right, I'm in,
Yeah, oh, well, that is an interesting point, and that's also my original skepticism. And again, I have changed my mind on that to an extent. So one of the things I said back then was I don't believe Trump actually cares about Bitcoin. I still don't. That's what I still think. I don't think he personally cares.
Did you see the?
But he does.
I'm gonna challenge you on this in a second. But
okay,
finish your thought first.
That's good. I think he's quite transactional in how he operates.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think as a European, we're not as used to that. Like, we're used to, or we sort of expect our politicians to really stand for what they, for the policies they want to enforce. And I do think that's maybe a cultural difference between Europe and the United States. So that's partly why I was maybe more skeptical than some Americans, because I really looked at, does he actually care? Because that's the thing I would say ultimately matters.
I'm going to convince you.
Okay,
that he actually cares.
Okay, go for
All right, here's my pitch. Did you watch his sons talk about Bitcoin
today? No,
not today. This was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was Eric or Don. I can't remember which one, but it was like a 60 to 120 second clip. When they were talking,
maybe from Abu Dhabi, the conference there.
It might have been it might have been a clip from Abu Dhabi. I'm not 100% positive, but basically, when what he said, like why he really believes in this shit, like he's like I'm all in, is like because this was happening, and this happened to me too, like with my company. It's like, you can't fucking say you're doing anything in mining or Bitcoin or crypto. Like, you can't fucking say that, right? Like, they were literally debanking companies that they didn't like, right? That was Choke Point 2.0. So, but not only was it just like Bitcoin companies, they were also going after political opponents, right? Like the same way, like, so the Trump was getting debanked, like they were canceling Ivanka's accounts and his accounts and Trump's accounts. So they actually felt, why, holy fuck, like this shit matters. Like, why should I care about this? Here's why. We're shutting your bank account because we don't agree with you politically because of whatever political event or, whatever happened. And he literally got up on that stage and said, look, like, I'm all into this shit. This is like, once this happened, once they shut down my bank accounts, and because of my dad was the former president and they didn't like fucking what he was saying or doing or whatever, they fucking went after us and targeted us. And this fucking happened. It's like, I get it. Like, that's what so to me, I'm thinking like, okay, that is important. And I think that, like, it changes the conversation a little bit in the sense of, once you experience it, you start to, like, most people don't care. They're like, oh, fucking Bitcoin, like, why should it matter? Most people live in, like, a lot of people we interact with are living in first world countries, and the banking system kind of works. I mean, obviously it's inefficient as fuck, and the technology that we have on block, like, is way better, but it kind of works. If you don't have a problem, you don't really speak up about it or say anything. But when you do experience, the problems of why it isn't efficient and why it doesn't work, then you start actually caring and realize, holy shit, this is actually very centralized and very permissioned. And wow, this is kind of scary. Like, I spoke with BJ Dichter from, Honking for Freedom, and like talking about when we recorded a couple podcasts, and we're talking about, like, he's like, holy shit, I looked at my thing and they deleted me from existence. My bank account disappeared. Sorry, sir, you don't exist. Like, holy fuck, that's a scary thought, right?
Yeah.
So once you experience that, it's like, it's kind of crazy. Like, when I like, I've had a fucking 5-7 year relationship with my banking credit union, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, done tons, like, never had a problem. Like, they're based on relationships. And like, when they said, hey, we're closing your accounts, why? Well, you're in a risky industry or whatever, where you're unapproved industry, I think is what they told me, or some shit like that. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? I have personal accounts, business accounts, loans with you guys. What are you saying? Here's your mission statement, 90% based on relationships. Luckily, I was able to escalate to the vice president of the fucking company and got them to override the decision. But most people couldn't do that probably, and got shut down, right? So, like, immediately after that happened, it's like, holy shit, you kind of realize this stuff. But I guess that would be my counter argument there. But I do agree that Trump is very transactional. I think he's more, honestly, Aaron, I think what it is it's more of like a loyalty thing. I don't think it's necessarily like
Loyalty, is that?
like loyalty. Like,
Mm.
hey, if you like look at the team he's assembled around him. Like politically, there's a lot of like half of his cabinet is like former Democrats, which he's in the other party. So like Tulsi Gabbard was the chair of the DNC, but he's finding good people that like are have loyalty, have integrity, right? I think that's kind of the key. Like they're not betraying. He might not agree with every one of their ideas, but he's like, hey, like, here's where I agree with you, and I'm going to empower you. Like the RFK thing, right? Like RFK is like, hey, I don't agree with you on like oil and natural gas and stay out of that, but like I agree with you on healthy food. So we're going to empower you on health to go do your thing. If that's what you're really passionate about, right? Kind of like finding agreements. Of course, no politician is fucking perfect, and Trump is deeply flawed in many ways, but God, it just seems so much better than what we've had for before that.
Yeah, well, I think that's the main thing. Like the regulatory environment and just the atmosphere, within the country, all over the
It's a
world,
different
really.
vibe, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and you feel that, and when you speak with people here, the company operators, and it is something that you hear a lot.
Yeah.
That it has really sort of lifted the weight of their shoulders in a way. So yeah, it does seem that it is a real change in that sense.
Yeah. So you feel that coming here? How often have you been in the U.S. this year? Have you come? Is this your first time back?
This year? I think the last time was when I visited you guys last
really? Okay,
conference.
all right.
I don't think I've been in the
You coming
US
back to
since then.
Naples after this with me? You're gonna come play some fucking soccer and record some podcasts?
After
What's
this
going on?
conference, I'm playing poker.
I'm putting you on the spot. we can play some poker. You played some poker out.
No, I would like to, but this time I'm sticking around in this part of the country.
Well,
the World Series of Poker is starting, and it's a bit of a bucket list thing for me to play. It's gonna be one of the minor events.
Okay,
but,
all right.
That's gonna be fun.
All right. Well,
Then,
after you're done, if you want to come to Naples, happy to make it happen, bro. We can record and riff for a week, play some soccer, make it. I'm putting you on the spot live on camera. Bro, give me these questions out here. I don't need this shit. It's been almost almost a year and a half since you released your book. Does that sound about right? About a year and a half?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Like I saw yesterday you posted, and I was so proud and happy for you. I said it was like trending as #1 fucking bestseller. Fuck
no,
yeah.
not bestseller.
Oh, was it?
That
It was most. What was
that
it?
would be great. It was top rated.
Top rated.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I mean I am pretty proud of that. Like,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
really awesome to see. Like, really appreciate all the the reviews that people are giving and all the,
I mean, it's just you did such a good job with the research and tying all these ideas together that, I mean, it's like there's nowhere else to go to get that information. Like, you did do a great job, right?
Yeah,
So,
thanks a lot. Yeah, no, that's really amazing to see that it's the #1 rated Bitcoin book on Amazon. That
love it.
There are so many Bitcoin books and many great ones.
Mhm.
So it's quite humbling and really great.
Well, hopefully people will check out the series that we recorded together because it's a timeless classic.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can do some more podcasts soon. And I know, like we said, 15 minutes has probably already been like 30.
It's all good.
But I'll let you go, bro. I know you're busy as fuck, all sorts of stuff going on. But it's been
These conferences are
I know,
crazy.
bro. It's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.